Okay.
All right, we will call the meeting to order. For preview and approval of the agenda, we need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Approval of the consent agenda or the minutes from the March 31st, 2020 regular meeting. Do we have a motion?
Hang on just a second. We need to vote on that one. Are you still wanting to do roll call?
We got a motion and a second, so I was ready to go. Yeah, I think we should do roll call again,
Okay.
just to make sure we're good.
Okay. Tina?
Yes.
Bing?
Yes.
Doug Alexander? Hang on, Doug's gotten muted. Doug?
Yeah.
Doug Meyer?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
And then
Okay.
we just need the motion on consent agenda.
Yes.
Doug Alexander to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Tina?
Yes.
Bing?
Yes.
Doug Alexander?
Yeah.
Doug Meyer?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, communications. This is just information. We have the principal reports. Anybody have any questions or comments on this? All right, moving on. Teaching, learning, and public interest, assessment and evaluation of district programs. Paul?
I think
Oh, no.
Kathy's got the
Kathy.
first one. and-
Sorry.
That's okay. I guess we'll just talk a minute about what we do know. Property taxes, the current year, exceed budget by about 7% or 101,000. Delinquent tax collected exceed budget by about 11% or $163,000. State revenues, well, we don't know. Things are changing every day on those. They currently meet budget projections for March. However, word from the state yesterday and today is saying there'll be probably adjustments coming to the formula particularly and transportation. So still waiting on word for those. Prop C meets budget for March. And it's kind of unclear how that may shake out because receipts receive are usually 2 months prior. So we may end up the year with Prop C being close to budget. So that was good news. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Expenditures are routine for the month of March again. Nothing really that's out of the ordinary, no exceptions. Ending projected fund balance percentage is 30.4%, and total cash investments are $13.4 million.
Kathy, have they said what kind of adjustments they're anticipating, or do they really have no way of knowing right now?
Well, we got a finance memo just today, and they kind of are a little vague again, but they're saying basic formula. They're going to go ahead and calculate current year on the set SAT. So they're not really committing. They're just saying, you know, potentially it could maybe come or go, not for sure. Classroom trust is the casino money. So casinos are closed, so that'll definitely be down. But in turn, your formula money will come back up because that's a matching type thing. So if your classroom trust goes down, then your formula money will come up and vice versa.
Okay.
Transportation, one place said 7%, another place, in the memo, it says 2.4% reduction.
Right.
Paul, I don't know if you knew anything more about that.
No, I saw the same thing, Kathy, this afternoon after we talked about it. Initially, they said 7%, and then it said 2.5. So I would estimate it's probably going to be 7, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
No, Tina,
What was that, Kathy?
just still a guessing game for another
Yeah.
month.
I think it's going to be for the next couple months, probably.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Kathy? All right. Early childhood education.
Before we get to that, I just want to make a few comments on the budget a little bit. So the governor did come out, and they are actually calling those withholdings. So there was a supplemental budget that's approved every year to make sure that we meet the state adequacy target and to fully fund the foundation formula. Well, because of the recent concerns and the coronavirus and the craziness that's going on, as soon as they approve the supplemental budget, then that's what he's withholding is that supplemental budget, which then lowers that state adequacy target. So that's where the next 2 months payments from the state will be reduced on those state adequacy target payments. So, Becky's on here if you want to ask Becky questions about the PAT and the preschool programs. Our PAT ladies are still doing a great job with the virtual learning. And then we just have some challenges as we transition to kindergarten from preschool. So,
Excuse me, Paul, that last little bit you said on budget, your microphone went like it did the other day. It went off. Couldn't hear
it
it.
doesn't like me. Okay.
It sounded like an old transistor radio.
Yeah, I think Rachel thinks I sound like that a lot too. I don't know why. Well, I just commented the state adequacy target is going to be lowered from what our original projection was based on the lack of the supplemental budget that was approved and then withheld. So, but PAT and preschool, those evaluations are on there. And again, our PAT ladies are doing a great job with the virtual learning process. And our preschool, it's a difficult, we made some good changes this year, but it's a difficult transition to kindergarten with the circumstances that we're under. So, but Becky's here, and if you got any questions for her, she can answer those for you.
Does anybody have any questions for Becky?
I just say, good job, Becky.
Thanks. Anxious to get the new group enrolled.
Yeah, hopefully that happens soon. What's the projected date on that? Do we know when Roundup's going to even happen?
I have no idea. We're tossing some ideas around and working on possibly getting the ability to enroll online. And if we're not able to do that, we'll just have to wait till we have the go-ahead to have people come into the building to enroll. I'm hopeful by the end of June, we'll have everybody enrolled and ready to go. Part of our concern right now, I talked to Tonya, she's our district nurse, and it's difficult at this point with the health department being closed for students to be caught up on immunizations. And with the inability of some of them to be able to get into other doctors' offices. I believe even if you go to an urgent care, you have to be over 7 to get an immunization, so they'll have to see a regular doctor. So that'll be some things that we have to work with when it comes time.
Okay. I didn't even, it's been so long since my kids have had to do that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so Tonya's been working on some things, and we're just trying to get the current preschool kids figure out where we are as far as who's had the kindergarten shots and not. But yeah, that'll be an issue to get caught up with too.
All right. Anybody else have anything for Becky? All right. Thank you very much, Becky.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now the board annual organization meeting. We need a motion.
So moved, Nancy.
Second, Doug A.
Anybody have any questions or comments on this?
That'll be a separate meeting all by itself, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're ready to vote, Susan.
Tina,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Doug Alexander,
Yes.
Doug Meyer,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Okay, strategic planning process.
Well, that process has been thrown in quite a tizzy. We're concentrating probably on the financial aspect of that with the election changed to June 2nd. And what that will look like. I haven't heard that the election will be, recently I've not heard that the election will be moved to any later date. So, but that does have an impact on a lot of what we're doing with the bond and levy and of course the board elections. Because of the budget needing to be approved in June, we really need to get moving and prepare for the cuts. And so Jill has done a good job of outlining an explanation basically for our community of what those cuts will look like. And then in May, we will come to you with some recommendations for some additional possible cuts to get that budget in line. But just to put this in perspective, we have not had withholdings from the formula since Governor Holden was in office. So that's pretty significant when that took place yesterday. So it's been a long time since we've experienced this type of economic upheaval, and we're not sure how quick we're going to recover from that. So just some thoughts as we move forward. I had some questions from some people about transition plans, and just to let you know, of course, we don't really know. We've only been doing this for a month, so we do have a plan for graduation and prom if we're able to have those events. The high school is and that's the update on the strategic planning process. We're to D, I believe. We're ready to proceed, Madam President.
That is correct. All right, we need a motion.
I move that we approve the MSBA board policy revisions as presented.
Doug A. Second.
Does anybody have any questions or comments on any of this?
Were these the ones that we're going to match up with the Ed Council ones? Are these now the new Ed Council ones?
Eventually.
No. These are just MSBA policies that have to be approved to match up with the state statutes that are currently in existence. So Ed Council policies, we have the first reading of those. That's the next item. And then those will be adopted but at the May board meeting, but they won't go into effect until July 1 next school year.
And then was this also the one that included something about redlined, or we changed the amount on purchasing? We want to leave it at 15,000 instead of moving it to the 50,000.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I think we're ready to vote. Susan?
Tina,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Doug Meyer,
Yes.
Doug Alexander,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Okay. The Ed Council, we're moving on to that now, just information and discussion. Anybody have any questions on that? Or Paul, do you have anything first?
The policy committee met, and Nancy serves as the board member on that council committee, and brought a lot of great assistance to that. She does a great job. So just like to thank her, thank Susan and Kathy, Jason for their work on that as well. The policies are very different, and Dwayne is looking forward to presenting the whole package, but this is the first piece of the package. It's just going to be a different process than what we're used to. So.
Has
Anybody have
has he
any?
had a chance to answer any of those questions? I'm sorry, because
No,
we had several policies we had questions about. Has he answered any of those?
So let's see. You've got the letter on there, Nancy, and then the response that they provided.
Yeah, but the letter didn't address.
So those suggested revisions. So you've got what we had, and then the suggested revisions that we had are both on there. There's two separate attachments.
Oh, I just saw the list of suggestions. I didn't see that. Is that what you're talking about?
So then
The list
yeah,
that Susan-
there's our suggestions, and then if you look above that, the revised board policies. That's
Oh, I
with our-
didn't see that.
That's with our
Okay, I didn't
revisions
see
on
that.
there.
Okay. I'll have to do some more reviewing.
Yeah.
So did they accept all of the committee's recommendations for the revisions then?
Yeah, those have the red lines and the revisions in them. So
we've gone through that
Yeah.
list and they've all been.
we've gone through that. They've all matched up to what our suggestions were.
Okay, good. So like when we suggested that they put the website in for the hotlining,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
did that?
Yes, ma'am. It's on there.
Okay, good. Good. That's good. So this is just all
Thank you.
informational right now. These policies are, and then next month we'll approve all of these. So it'll give you some time to read, especially the ones that we've changed, I think, or asked for revisions. You might want to look at those because we wanted them to line up with what we are doing now mainly. So you don't need to read every single 300 pages like we did, but you can look at the ones that we wanted to revise because it's good information. Stop laughing.
Thank
I
you,
see you laugh.
Nancy, for doing this.
No,
Well, this is a
it's
huge,
good.
it's a huge undertaking, and you're definitely, you've got that eye for detail for this kind of thing. So thank you so much for doing this on behalf of the board, because this was enormous. This was
My pleasure.
overdue, but
My
enormous.
pleasure. Right. No, and now we can move on and understand what's there, I think, a little bit easier and refer to it much easier in the future. It'll be good even pretty soon.
Good, very good. Okay, tuition rates for the 2020-2021 school year. We need a motion.
So moved, Doug M.
Doug A,
Second,
second.
Nancy.
Doug A, third.
You're too slow. Too slow, Doug. Too slow.
I went to third.
Hey, does anybody have any questions or comments on this?
Mm-mm.
All right, I think we're ready to vote.
Brittany,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Doug Meyer,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes. Okay, under business services, we need a motion for the ABCO renewal request.
Move to approve the ABCO renewal request as presented. Brittany?
Do we have a
Second,
second?
Nancy. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this? Paul, Jason, anything to add?
I was pleased to see that they kept the rate the same, so.
I'd like to thank Jill. I think she took some pictures and put them on Facebook of the EBCO people cleaning the school and things like that. And I shared that on to the Chamber Facebook page, and it's gotten 8 or 9 comments. So people were very happy to see that happening. So thank you, Jill.
Mike Johnson took the pictures. Thank you, Mike. I just posted.
Oh, okay.
All right. If there are no other questions or comments, I think we're ready to vote.
Brittany,
Yes.
Doug Alexander,
Yes.
Doug Meyer,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes. All right. Can we get a motion for the OPA renewal request?
I move to approve the OPA renewal request as presented. Nancy?
Doug, a second.
Anything to add to this, Paul or Jason?
It's just the typical renewal that's required by DESI and USDA, but it is the negotiated contract that we approved for 5 years.
I just have to say again, I appreciate OPA doing what they've done to help keep the kids fed. I mean, that's just above and beyond, and it's kept them working and stuff like that. They've just done a fabulous job. What, 600 or 700 kids a day we feed through those stops, so that's incredible. Just great job.
All right. I think we're ready to vote.
Brittany,
Yes.
Doug A,
Yes.
Doug M,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes. Oh, and this last one here. Insurance is never fun. We need a motion for the 2021 health insurance benefit.
So moved. Doug M.
Brittany, second.
Okay, Paul.
So Kathy and I have met extensively with CBIZ and just tried to iron out the best plans going forward. We had a team meeting with the Team Harrisonville representatives to talk about it. It's not pleasant, obviously. The 16% renewal was not something that Kathy nor I feel like we can absorb in the budget. And so it's our recommendation to move to the qualifying high deductible health plan as the base plan offered by the school district. It still allows for the school district to completely pay for the premium for the employee. it's still an increase, but not it's a 4% versus a 16% increase. So there are some plan changes that will affect the employees as they go to the doctor. You know, if you're on a PPO, and which 78% of our employees are on the PPO. So if they decide to move, I imagine a large percentage of those employees will move to the qualifying high deductible health plan. So when they do that, their trip to the doctor is going to look a lot different. It's not going to be one where you pay a copay. It's one where you pay the negotiated rate until you meet the deductible, and then you get that 80-20 split. So I outlined those changes to the staff in an email last week, and have had a few comments and questions. We also are going to go through mandatory signature for all of our employees, so they'll teleconference with a member of CBIZ so that they can have that explained to them as well. And of course, Janelle always does a great job of answering questions that employees might have when it comes to their benefits. So it's not a pleasant experience by any means. I don't think health insurance negotiations ever are. And we're not a healthy group right now. That's probably the quote that defines our group best right now, is what he told us. So.
Can I ask a question about this HSA plan? Is it a combination plan where the HSA is part of it, or I'm a little confused about that?
So a health savings account they were introduced by the federal government
Right.
about 15 years ago, and what it is it's a pre-tax contribution account. So it's a savings account that you can take with you. So if you move from point A to point B, even if you leave, education or whatever, it's your own savings account that's set up at a bank. You have a debit card. You use that money for medical purchases, but it is a tax saving. So it's pre-tax. So it reduces your adjusted income. So.
Right, I understood all that, but my question is that what each employee is going to have now? Is that savings account plan and not an actual policy?
No. They'll have the policy. The savings account is is something that's separate, and you can choose to contribute to it. You don't have to contribute to it if you don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a separate.
I was just confused. Okay. So this high deductible plan is separate from the HSA?
It is. They're just, some people get the name or the acronyms confused. They call it an HSA plan because it qualifies you to use an HSA, is what that essentially means.
Oh, but the 500 and some monthly premium that the district is paying will be for the high deductible plan, not the savings account.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Right now, Nancy, if you are on, or if an employee is on the qualifying high deductible health plan, we currently have that plan, and we have about 15% of our employees are on that plan. If they use that plan, the district contributes the difference of the expense into their health savings account. So right now, each month, let's see, that contribution is about I think it's $37. Is that right, Kathy? $37, somewhere around there a month?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's
muted.
I'm gonna unmute her. There you go, Kathy, you're unmuted.
Yes. Yep, that's correct, Paul.
Okay, so what that would mean, Nancy, is if that employee right now on our current plan chooses a qualifying high deductible health plan, we the district will contribute the difference, which is that $37, into their health savings account. So then they can use that $37 and it builds up just like any other savings account. It would build up the next month and then the next month, until they wanted to use it. And they can use it for contact solution or eyeglasses or any qualified expense.
Okay.
Paul?
Yes.
Paul, on the renewal, the district is not going to be contributing anything.
Correct. That is correct. I was just trying to explain what the health savings account was.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah,
sorry.
on the renewal, there will be no contribution into the qualifying high deduct into the HSA because that is the lowest plan. That becomes the base plan. Now, employees can choose to contribute to the HSA on their own with a pre-tax contribution. That's the savings. So.
Okay. So basically, every employee will be on this high deductible plan.
They can buy up. They could employees could choose to buy up to the PPO or the HMO.
Oh, really?
So the three plans stay the same. We're not getting rid of the plans. It's just what the district
we're just
slides down to the least plan.
Okay. I'm with you now. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All right, we're ready to vote.
Brittany,
Yes.
Doug Alexander,
Yes.
Doug Meyer,
Yes.
Nancy Shelton,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes. Okay, who'd like to give us a motion to adjourn?
I will. I move to adjourn. Nancy.
Brittany, second.
Go, Brittany.
Brittany,
Yes.
Doug A,
Yes.
Doug M,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Bing,
Yes.
Tina.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thank you all very much.
Live to work another day.
Say